Time now for PFT on Yahoo Sports. Peter King, Mike Florio, biggest stories in the NFL. And Peter, biggest story for Week 9 is we thought we knew what was going on in the NFL, and we found out in a very dramatic and spectacular way that we have no idea. So, which of the teams are you more concerned about that unexpectedly lost to inferior, supposedly, opponents on Sunday? The Cowboys, who lost to the Broncos, the Bills, who lost to the Jaguars, or the Rams, who were upset by the Titans?
Probably I'd be worried a little bit about the Bills. Mike, I don't know if you remember this, but when I went to Buffalo training camp this year and talked to Josh Allen, one of the things he felt convinced about that he was going to stop playing hero ball at quarterback. In other words, trying to do too much himself. So what do we see in the biggest moment of a game they never should have lost on Sunday in Jacksonville? We see him getting enveloped by a five-man rush. And instead of burying his head, getting down, punting, and learning to fight another day, he makes an idiotic hero ball throw that namesake Josh Allen intercepts that very well could have cost them a football game that they ended up losing. So I would worry about that, and I would worry about the simple fact that 4 quarters, 0 touchdowns. This is an explosive offense, but is it an offense that is capable of consistently moving the chains? That's what I'm worried about with Buffalo.
And I think with Buffalo, they refused to accept the fact that the Jaguars were shutting them down, so they kept doing everything they had planned to do, thinking it was eventually going to work. At some point, you have to abandon ship and take whatever they may be giving you. I don't think the Bills ever properly adjusted. They just kept ramming forward, thinking these are the Jaguars and we will eventually overpower them. And I think some of that also happened with the Cowboys. I called that a step on a rake game, that every once in a while you have one of those. The Cowboys feeling too good about themselves after beating the Vikings without Dak Prescott, thinking the Broncos were going to be down after trading Von Miller. So the one I'm most concerned about, frankly, is the Rams, because that Titans defense kind of exposed Matthew Stafford a little bit. And we're at the point in the season where there's enough film out there that if you're not self-scouting and changing and adjusting, you're going to have Kevin Byard jumping a route and taking it to the house because he saw something on film and he knows what Matthew Stafford's going to do. You're going to have a defensive line that's able to dismantle an offensive line that possibly isn't constructed to support a drop-back passing game. And it may be that we're getting to the point in the year where the blueprints are being developed on how to properly confront this Rams offense, and now the challenge for the Rams is going to be to figure out how to deal with their own flaws and overcome them or come up with different approaches. And they don't have Cam Akers. You know, Darrell Henderson's been pretty good, but they're relying heavily on Matthew Stafford. And if Stafford's being exposed a little bit, that's a problem, Peter.
Here's the issue that I see coming out of that game. I think the difference in this game, I think Mike Vrabel went into that football game on Sunday saying, you know what, we can physically handle the Rams. The Rams cannot take a physical style of play, particularly on the Rams' offensive line. And I think what Tennessee did, I'm not saying they did a blueprint for the rest of the league, but the bigger teams, the heavier teams, the more physical teams, like, for instance, Pittsburgh, like, for instance, New England, those are the kind of teams that can give the Rams a difficult time. And look, it's too late right now to remake your offensive line, but in my opinion, the Rams right now have to try to get the ball out faster and have to do less of the, okay, we're going to let a play develop and throw it deep downfield. Get rid of the ball, Matthew Stafford.
And the other thing, too, I don't like to get into the business of predicting guys are going to get injured, but we know Matthew Stafford's injury history. We saw him get banged up on Sunday. That looms over this team because it's a very different team if Matthew Stafford is unavailable to play some of these important games that are coming up in November, December, and January. That's it for now. Thanks for some of your time. We'll see you down the road.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.